So, so let's start with first our topic, that is a 3D printer, right? So, teachers, as you all know, the 3D printer, it's a new technology we have in India, and it's 3D printer. We that I know from 2016, 17, or from 2012, we have heard that 3D printer is something there in India, which basically prints the object. So first, we'll understand what is 3D printing. I know you all having a printer in your school, or even you have seen a normal printer, a black and white printer, a color printer. So that kind of printers you have seen, which prints any two-dimension things. For example, you have a laptop and you have write a letter, and if you have a computer, you have designed some photographs, you have designed some cartoons, right? Even it can be letters, cartoons, or anything, scribbling, whatever you are doing on your word file, uh, on your PPT, right? By just giving a single command control P, you can print that let A4 size ka paper on your through your machine. So that is a normal printer where the printing is done in two dimensions, like x-axis and y-axis. Means this is how the printer is printing something in x direction or y direction. So you can see what actually it's printing on a paper, but you can't feel, right? Because it's only in two dimension, x and y. There is no z axis. That is our third dimension, as you all know, right? But in 3D printer, we have a z axis also. Like you can print anything which you can feel, right? So that's a major difference. Now let's start with the dimensions. So what are dimensions actually if we talks about a 3D printer? So dimension is basically used to describe the structure of any object, right? Dimension can be, in mathematics also we learned about coordinates, like x-axis minus x plus y minus y, positive z minus z. So what it actually indicates? It's talking about three dimensions, right? And everyone we knows about 3D, three dimensions, right? So what is one dimension? Basically, we'll talk about. So one dimension is basically a line, right? A simple line. I think I'm not. I have to not to explain in detail what is 1D, because if you draw a single straight line, that is a one dimension having 2 points, right? So basically, one dimension consists of only a single line, uh, and or you can draw zigzag also. You can draw a circle, not zigzag, only straight line. Basically, if it talks about, because we are talking about in a x-axis, that is one dimension. Now, what is 2D? 2D is basically where we are talking about two dimensions. It means we are talking about x-axis and we are talking about y-axis. For example, square, rectangle, circle, any shape with having two dimension x and y, two coordinates basically. Now the third is 3D. 3D is basically where we are talking about depth. Fine. So in the 2D pictures, we only have two dimension x and y. We are not talking about the depth, because this picture is the two dimensions only in a plain page. You can just draw. But in 3D, we are talking about depth, means some height is there. Now the object is consisting of x-axis, y-axis, also uh, z-axis. So this is like height. Now you can feel that object also. That is called a 3D or three dimension, which looks like a realistic object. So that is a difference between 1D, 2D and 3D. So teachers, those who are requesting me for by language, again I'm repeating in Hindi also, कि 1D एंड 2D एंड 3D क्या होता है कि 1D में जहाँ पे ओनली हम एक सिंगल लाइन के बारे में बात करते हैं जिसमें खाली एक्स एक्सिस होता है, उसे हम वन डायमेंशन बोलते हैं. 2D मीन्स जहाँ पे दो डायमेंशन होते हैं, एक्स एक्सिस भी होता है और वाई एक्सिस भी होता है. जैसे पेपर पे ड्रॉ करते हैं कोई भी स्क्वायर शेप, रेक्टेंगल शेप, मैथमेटिकल ब्लॉक, दैट इज 2D. नाउ व्हाट इज 3D? थ्री डायमेंशन इज बेसिकली जहाँ पे हम हाइट की बात भी कर रहे हैं. मतलब आपने कुछ चीज बनाई जिसका एक्स भी है, वाई कोऑर्डिनेट भी और एक जेड कोऑर्डिनेट भी है, मतलब उस चीज को फील कर सकते हो. दैट इज 3D. Now, let's move to the just a second. Yeah. So this is a basic. What is the basic difference between 2D and 3D? Now, if you can see on my screen, this is a rectangle. This is also a rectangle. But the thing is, you can see a third dimension also. This circle over here, right? That's a 3D. So this is a circle, this is a sphere. Fine. So this is how we can identify the difference between 2D and 3D. Now this is a normal rectangular box, and this is a, oh, just a second. Yeah. So this is a cylindrical box. So this is how you can identify the difference between 2D and 3D. So that's the difference where we are in 2D dimension, we are talking about X and Y. In 3 dimension, we are talking about X, Y, and Z. And one extra coordinate added over here, right? So this basically what we say is it's length, width, and height. नाउ टीचर्स मैं वही रिपीट कर रहा था कि 2 डायमेंशन में हम लेंथ एंड विड्थ की बात करते हैं और 3 डायमेंशन में हम लेंथ, विड्थ एंड हाइट की बात करते हैं, जहाँ पे ऑब्जेक्ट्स में हाइट भी आ जाता है। तो उसको हम 3D में हम उसको 3D ऑब्जेक्ट्स बोलते हैं। नाउ 3D is basically, refers to a three-dimension model which you physically you can feel the object, you can touch the object, you can hold the object. It is also called additive manufacturing because 3D model creates by adding layer upon layer, layer upon layer. This is how it actually forms. Now this is the difference when we talks about to when we are designing a metal or not metal, sorry, I'm sorry. So when we are designing any object, right? So when we design, let's suppose I'm in an industry and I'm in a mechanical industry and I have to design this object, this 3D object, right? This 3D object. Now there are two ways to design the 3D object. This is the first way, and this is the second way. Now what is the difference between the first way and second way? सो टीचर्स आई एम सेइंग कि मैं एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी को, मैकेनिकल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी में मुझे ये ऑब्जेक्ट को प्रिंट करना है, तो हमारे पास दो तरीके हैं उसको बनाने के। पहला ये है, दूसरा ये है। अब उसमें क्या फर्क है? सो द डिफरेंस बिटवीन दिस फर्स्ट प्रोसेस एंड द सेकंड प्रोसेस इज, in the first process, what the mechanical company what the mechanical company actually do, it's a metallic box, right, or a wooden box. Let's consider any, like it's a metallic, wooden, or plastic, any type of box it is. Now there is a machine which we call it subtractive manufacturing. Subtractive manufacturing means we are cutting the part, we are cutting the object, like if it's a metallic or wooden, we're cutting and making by holes inside it, right? So after designing, either using a CNC machine or any kind of mechanical machine, by using those machines, we are cutting those inside the objects, and this is the wastage that's coming out. So this is the normal process which is following in the mechanical companies. But if we talks about the 3D printer, what happens in 3D printer? There's a material, only the part which is required for manufacturing, only that part will be printed through this additive manufacturing, and this is our final 3D object product, and this is the waste. So that's the difference. Now the only thing is, what we are doing in the first part, we are cutting, we are so through drilling and all cutting part, we are removing some extra stuff from the metal, and this is our final product. But in 3D printing, we are just only printing the object which is required. तो टीचर्स, मैं यही बोल रहा था कि अगर हम बात करते हैं कि इंडस्ट्रीज में अगर हमारे पास कोई मेटल वुडन का ब्लॉक होता है, अगर हम उसको कट करते हैं, तो होता क्या है कि हमें जो पार्ट रिक्वायर होता है हम उसी को लेते हैं, बाकी का हम मशीनों के थ्रू हम उसको कट करके या उसको होल्ड करके उसको सारा वेस्टेज निकालते हैं, तो उसमें वेस्टेज बहुत ज़्यादा आता है। बट 3D प्रिंटिंग में क्या है कि हमारे पास जो वेस्टेज होता है, जो भी फिलामेंट है या जो भी मटेरियल है, उसको हम बस 3D प्रिंट करते हैं, जो हमें ऑब्जेक्ट चाहिए, बाकी हमारा वेस्टेज बहुत कम होता है। तो ये हमारा डिफरेंस है दोनों में। नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज, yeah. So this is the history. So who 3D printing was invented in year 1984 by Charles Hull. So he's the person who invented 3D printer in 1984, right? An advancement in printing method by inventing of inkjet printers in 1976. Now, now what is 3D printing used for? So first we'll discuss about why 3D printing is used for. So basically, if you can see, like, can you see these three pictures on my screen? So can anyone tell me what is the difference? Like what you observe from these three pictures? You can use chat box also. So in the first picture, you can see there is a glass jar, right? And this glass jar, let's suppose if we use this glass jar for some hot water or some hot substance, right? So there is no holding device with it. There is no holder inside it. So this guy designed a holder and he kept the holder on this glass jar, and now he can use this 3D printed part for holding the hot jar, right? So this is why you can, this is like how you can design uh, anything what you are thinking. Like if you know, if you have good skills in 3D designing, you can print anything, right? So this is the second, it's a, you can anyone tell me, is there any chemistry teacher who can tell me what is this symbol notes, this picture denotes? So this is a kind of chain we learn in chemistry, bonds and all. So we can design such type of things where it's easy to understand for the students. They can also understand about the bonds in chemistry, right? I'm not good in chemistry, but I know something about this chemical bonds. So this is why I think CNC, six bond, hexabond, benzene. So this kind of things we also can explain the students. Even they can use 3D printer for in their designing their, in submitting their projects also, right? The third picture is of piggy bank. So this piggy bank is used by small kids for saving the money, right? So this 3D piggy bank is designed through 3D printer. Now you can see this filament, the plastic filament is first molded, right, melted, and then it's designed in this kind of bank. So this is the actual use of 3D printer. You can print anything what you are imagining, right? So 3D printer enables you, people like you, in manufacturing complex objects, like from the, for from the comfort for or your home. Like if you want something to design for your home, that you can also print through this 3D printing machine. Now like lots of people like having already have 3D printer in their home. So what are they doing, right? So you can create a new toy, you can create, you can print something interesting for your home, you can print something to hold, uh, like if you have a painting of any, or if you have a photograph, you want to hang that photograph on the wall, you can print this type of tool that can help you to hanging the pictures, right? So this kind of things also you can print through 3D printer. Now, so is it useful? So can anyone tell like what this picture signifies? I'll just unmute you. You can unmute yourself and you can answer also. So teachers can anyone tell eh, what this picture symbolize? Like can from the view
Robotic
anyone
hand.
can answer.
Iron Man
Prosthetics.
hand.
Hello,
Synthetic heart.
synthetic hand,
Prosthetics.
Gesture control.
gesture
Yeah,
control. So yes, we can
synthetic robotic heart.
synthetic robotic hand. Yes, yes,
The
yes.
false off.
So come again.
False off.
Alsa. Okay.
So prosthetics. Sir.
Prosthetic. Yes, yes. So the thing is, key first we have to identify the problem. So this guy is having a problem, like in picking something, any object, right? So we have designed, some we have used our 3D printer, and we have designed such kind of mechanism where this person can control, can hold anything using this 3D printer, 3D printed object, right? So even we can create such type of these printed objects in our lab by using printer. Now, the next we have, there's one more picture. Now you can see, just a second. Now you can see this boy holds this ball in his hand using this 3D printed object, right? Can anyone tell me what is this picture? The first picture. What is this first picture? This white color part. Any idea how it actually looks like? Any guess? Yes, any
So it's
guess?
a
Right?
material.
No issues.
Sir, it is baseball like something.
This
Baseball and
okay. This
gloves.
okay. This first picture, this one.
The
The white part, this
PP,
first picture. Any guesses? Right, wrong, any guesses? No
PP,
issues.
So it's a material to create a
Silicone material.
PP material.
3D material.
Grip, I think grip, finger grip, sir.
But it is hard.
Right. Who's this?
Suvarnagar
Who's this?
Bhaskar.
Candle-like material, sir.
Great. No, actually, it's sir is right. This is a 3D printed heart.
Hard.
In biology, we can print actual human body parts. There is a kind of material by which doctors are actually they are using to develop such kind of body parts also. This is a 3D printed part. But if you search on Google, there are such type of 3D printers where doctors are using those printers to create body parts, the organs, right? If you can search also on Google, there are a lot of printers which actually prints, but the material is different for that, which is which is you can use to print objects such like this. So right guess, yes, great. Now we'll move to the next one. So this is kind of 3D printed architecture of New York. Like you can see, let's suppose if there is a builder who want to build a city, or so they can also design such like how actually the city looks, how where to do the parking, where the road will, how where the plants will be there. So this kind of things they can imagine, like they can print through their printing part. So here now let's move to the next one. So this is the design of a guitar. So this is completely 3D printed, right? This is completely 3D printed, if you can see over here. So you can design such type of things. Now, can anyone tell me what is this? Already the name is written over there, sorry. Automotive. So this is a kind of image of
Engine.
Internet information engine.
engine.
Very
Right. Yes. So if you are good in designing part, you can design such type of things also. Now this is a first world's printed car, uh, the electric car, which is printed on 3D printer. So this body is of 3D printed, and it's electric car, very light car actually it is. Now the next is, this is India's first 3D printed home. I think you all have seen these on YouTube, on Facebook, that there are large machines which use such different type of chemicals to print the homes, right? So how it actually work, will share with you also. So this is a machine which is actually creating, which are actually making a wall by layer. So you can see these are the layers. So this machine takes a complete round of a complete home. So I'll play this video also. Is the sound audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. This is a 3D constructed printing. I think you have seen this on Facebook, on YouTube. So this is how much we have developed. The technology is how much is so advanced. Now the homes are also printed through this machine, right? Now let's talk about. Just a second.
Excuse me, sir, may I ask something?
Yes.
Sir, actually, I wanted to know that how to get our 3D printers repaired, matlab, from which company we can get it done.
Sure, ma'am. If you don't mind, can I answer this at the last once I complete this?
Okay, sir.
After,
Right, sir.
yeah, at the last we have question answers round, so where you can ask your questions. So once
Okay,
I'll
sir.
complete, yeah, thanks a lot. So the next we have in 3D printers also we are using 3D printer in food industries also. So in automated food pizza making, there is some primitive which we are using for making this process. So just a second. Yeah. So this is also we are using in food industry the 3D printer. Then we have our next one, which is fashion industry. So we are using 3D printer in developing such in fashion industries also to show something. Like suppose there are some designers who want to show or to design something, but they try first it on 3D printer how actually it looks like. If it looks like this one, then they design their product. So to check, to imagine like how this will be look after we will work on so you have seen that
हाँ, ये
if
तो हम
some
कर नहीं सकते
teachers, I would like to request you can unmute or you can mute yourself.
it was
Yeah,
called
thank you.
image and sound. So looking at your
Yeah. So teachers, have you have seen then when something comes in the market, right? Before that, the designers do a lot of research, right? So that either this product will work or not, it will fail or not, right? So this kind of predictions. So first they try that kind of things on using 3D printer or any other printers also. How our product will look like if we introduce it in the market, right? सो टीचर्स मैं यही बोल रहा था कि अगर हम कोई जो डिजाइनर्स होता है अगर कुछ नए चीज मार्केट में लेके आते हैं तो उससे पहले उसको टेस्ट करते हैं 3D प्रिंटर पे कि ये कैसा लगेगा। अगर हम कुछ नई चीज बनाते हैं उसको हम इंडस्ट्री पे लार्ज स्केल पर अगर बनाने से पहले पता लगे हम लार्ज स्केल पे बना रहे हैं उसको मार्केट में भेज रहे हैं और हमारा प्रोडक्ट नहीं चला तो उससे पहले हम उसको एक बार डिजाइन करके प्रिंटर पे देखते हैं कि कैसा वो लग रहा है और देन उसको फिर वो लोग प्रिंट करते हैं। So that's I'm actually saying. Now the next one is the process, how actually it work, the 3D printer. So yeah, so the first step of 3D printing process, the first is designing part. The designing part means what you want to design. For example, I'll give an example with this. Like if you want to 3D print any object, right? First you need to design a digital file. Digital file means, for example, I will give you one example also. Let's suppose I want to print uh, this object. This is a black color case, right? It's a hard disk. I want to print this object. I hope it's visible to you. No, let me comment it in my this one. Oh, okay. Let me remove my background. I think then you can see it properly. Just a second. Choose virtual background. Let me, yeah, I think now you can see my screen, right? So this is the black color box. So this is basically this is a hard disk, right? And I want to print a case for this hard disk, right? I want to protect my hard disk, and I want to protect to protect my hard disk. I want to design a case. So what is the first thing to print this? I need to first understand like the dimension of this hard disk, right? What is the length of this hard disk? If you can see, there is some length of this hard disk, there is some width of this hard disk, and there is some height of hard disk. So there are three things: length, width, and height. So I have to see, let's suppose the height of this, let's suppose the length of this hard disk is 10 centimeter, and the width is of 5 centimeter, and height is of 2 centimeter. So I have to make sure my case, the hard disk case should be 0.2 mm or 0.3 mm bigger than the actual size so that I can keep my hard disk inside the case. So this is the thing that first thing comes in our mind while we are working with 3D printer, or if we want to print any 3D object, right? Now, so what we will do, we will design, we will print, we will design a, 3D file for this. So for that, there are some softwares, right? So how do you create 3D design files? So that will be, by sketching or by drawing in a paper, right? You have to design or sketch on a paper, like this is the height, this is the width, this is the length. Then there are some tools we called CAD tools. CAD tools means computer aided design softwares. So it can be, where you can convert your designs. Like you don't have to do any sketching and all. You just have to design your model, right? So there are a lot of tools available in the market, right, for CAD design. If you are a beginner, so we recommend you can use Tinkercad, right? But if you know Tinkercad, then there are a lot of softwares which are available, just like 1, 2, 3D, Fusion, right? Then there are a lot of tutorials, Autodesk, where you can create 3D designs. But if you are working in industry, if you want to design something, which requires a lot of time, which is an intensive product, it needs a lot of, cuts. So that time you can use high level of softwares. But for the beginners, we recommend Tinkercad because Tinkercad is easy to understand. Students can also understand Tinkercad easily. And even the best part is they can print their models which were designed on Tinkercad, right? But your students are good enough and they are preparing for any project competition, like for marathon also, then they can use any other software such as Fusion, 1, 2, 3, Autodesk is there, right? A lot of softwares are available in the market, right? Which are free of cost also. You can download it from Google. You just need to search 3D design softwares for Tinkercad, and you can see on your screen. So we are talking about Tinkercad. So Tinkercad basically, that is used for 3D designing electronics and code block. Like coding, you can also do using Tinkercad. So let's move to the Tinkercad. We'll start with Tinkercad. So if you have ever worked on MS Point, like Microsoft Point or GIMP, Inkscape, Illustrator, or Photoshop, then CAD software will be similar to you, and which is very easy to use. You just have to drag and drop, right? So what type of format supported in Tinkercad? So this is our question. What type of format Tinkercad support? So here you can see on my screen there are a lot of formats which is not supported by a 3D printer. Let's suppose .pdf, .docs means we use for Word file. PDF is basically for PDF file. PSD, MP3, which is songs. You can see audio over MP3. Then we have PNG. So if it talks about images or PNG images, then we have these formats: PNG, JPG, PHP, .zip file, right? Then CSS, .AAC. So these formats are not supported over there. Now we'll what type of format is supported? So this is a STL, standard testration language. So this is the file which is supported by this 3D printer. Now, this is the second step. Second step, we are talking about 3D printing process means slicing. So slicing means once you designed your 3D object in the Tinkercad, once you have completed the design of this case, right? You have developed the case. We will be learning also. We will learn about this case. Once you design this case, then the next step is printing. So how to print that we are going to understand. So, so, so in this 3D slicer, we will be going to how to this 3D objects. Basically, it's a software which converts your 3D design into G code. G code is basically a code, you can say, which is easy, which 3D printer can easily understand, right? G code means when you design any object, this slicer converts the design into G code. G code means X, Y, and Z coordinates, like where you have 111 110 221 223. So we will be going to discuss in depth about this also. Then the third step is 3D printing process. Printing, like the third process is printing. Your 3D printer will print the object, right? So this is the third process. So I'm skipping this part because I'll give you a live demo also on Tinkercad how to design 3D objects. Then this is a complete process. The first is the STL file. You have created a STL file on any 3D printer or any 3D software. Then it converts into G code. G code means slicing. Slicing means it will gives an idea to 3D printer where is X X, Y, Z. Basically, it gives an idea to 3D printer, the coordinates, X, Y, Z coordinates. Like this is X 100, Y 100, Z 0. This is X minus X 100 minus Y 100 or Z 0. And here the Z will be 100, X and Y, Z, X and Y is 0. This is called, here, this software converts the form design into X, Y, and Z coordinates, right? Then the printer will start and then it is a final object. So this is the process. Now, advantage of using 3D printer is like flexible to design. You can design it flexibly anywhere. Rapid prototyping, printing on demand, strong and lightweight parts, then minimize wastage and cost effective. So these are the advantage of 3D printer. Now, some disadvantage, limited material. There's a limited material, then restricted build size. The build size is limited, means let's suppose if you have a bed size of 100 centimeter, you can print only that. You can't create big objects on that. So it depends on the bed size you have of the 3D printer. Then part structure. These are some disadvantages of 3D printer. Now, technology used in 3D printing, that is FDM, fused deposition modeling. तो टीचर्स फ्यूज डिपोजिशन मॉडलिंग एक टेक्नोलॉजी है जो हमारे 3D प्रिंटर में यूज होता है। मैं आपको एक सीधे सरल मैं आपको समझाऊंगा, जिस तरह से मैं जो एग्जांपल मैं देता हूँ लोगों को, सभी को, कि जैसे जलेबी होती है, वी हैव अ स्वीट डिश जलेबी, राइट? सो हम क्या करते हैं, हम जिसको जैसे जैसे जहाँ जहाँ घुमाते हैं हमारा जलेबी वैसा बनता जाता है। तो सिमिलरली 3D प्रिंटर है, जब वो मेल्ट होके जिधर जिधर वो मूव करेगा वैसे वैसे वहां को प्रिंट करता जाता है। इन शॉर्ट इफ आई सेज, so teachers, we have a kind, so this jalebi. So I'm saying that when you when the when we used to make jalebis, right? What we will do, we will rotate and hand, and according to that, the jalebis, is prepared. Was prepared, is preparing, right? So similarly, आपका जो जलेबी है वो उसी तरह से जब बनता है जिस तरह से हमारा, जैसे हमारा सेम हमारा 3D प्रिंटर भी उसी हिसाब से वैसे ही प्रिंट होता है। So we call it fused filament fabrications. Then there are some other technologies like SLA, DLP, SLS, and MGF. So these are some technologies used in 3D printer. Now, what material are available for 3D printings? So there are different type of materials based on which type of printing we are doing, like PLA, polylactic acid is there, ABS, then PVA, PC, nylon, wooden filament, metal filled. So these are the filaments which are used in 3D printer, right? Even you can search these filaments in more detail on Google also. You will get a lot of ideas about where wood filament, filled filament used, where is metallic filament used, where is nylon used. So as I told you, doctors are printing actual body parts. So there's a different filament used for that, right? Now, this is actually the 3D printer work. There is a spool where the 3D printers filament feed inside the printer. So this is a filament is loaded to the extruder, and then the extruder is able to control the amount of filament precisely. So there are two rollers which feed the printer filament inside the extruder. So this is a hot end extruder from where the filament gets melt and then your objects gets printed, right? So this is how the 3D printer actually work. Now you can see the hot end melts the filament. This is a hot end hot end nozzle, copper nozzle, which melts your filament. And this is the last, the heat bed, where the filament get diffused and it's printed. The system moves the extruder head to be positioned for the printer next layer. So this is actually the internal function of how 3D printer actually work. Now the next one is this is a video of how 3D printer prints the object.
So, how do 3D printers work? Well, first we need something to print. We need to create a 3D model on a computer. There are hundreds of websites where you can find and download 3D models and print them out straight away. Or you can design your own using 3D modeling software. There's loads of software to choose from, but they all use roughly the same method. You start with a basic shape, change the size, change the shape, add shapes together and take bits away. Then, when you're happy with your finished model, you're ready for stage 2. Once you have your 3D model, it's sent to 3D printing software that scans it and then slices it into sections to help the printer understand the shape and how to print it. We're now ready to print. But first, we need filament. Filament is the material that the models are printed from. You can print in any number of materials, from plastics, metal or ceramic, even chocolate. Our printer has two main moving parts, the print plate that moves up and down, and the print head that can move in any direction. The print head has a heating element, and when filament is fed into it, it heats it up so it melts. The print head then draws the outline of the first slice with the melted filament and fills it in. The plate moves down so the next slice can be printed. This continues until all the slices are printed and our model is complete.
This is a complete process of 3D printing, where you can see how actually 3D printer starts and then how it goes and like what the final output also. Now we are discussing about the process, about the filaments, like about the how it actually print. Yeah, so this is all about the 3D printing, but this is not all about 3D printing. We are going to discuss, we are going to learn how to actually print objects on 3D printer. So before moving ahead to designing part, and then we will talking about AI or Chat GPT and other AI tools. I would like to request teachers, those who have joined recently, you can mark your attendance. There's a link in the chat box where you can mark your attendance. Uh, Yes. So let's move to our designing part, like how to design 3D printed uh, objects. So I'm sharing my screen for. So what you have to do, you just have to search Tinkercad again. Let me share my screen just a second. Attendance is in the chat box. Teachers, you can mark your attendance. There's an attendance link in the chat box shared by Mr. Rohan. You can use that link. Also, there is a feedback and assessment link is also there. You can mark it later on after the session. So I'm searching Tinkercad, Tinkercad, Tinkercad. And again, this is the same software where we are talking about 3D circuit designing. So you can use this tool. So let's wait for some time when it gets on. So meanwhile, I think a lot of teachers have marked their attendance. So let's understand how to use 3D printer, because I know some of the teachers know Tinkercad, but there are some advanced features might be you're not aware about. So we'll start with the first one, that is design part. So there are two methods. Either you can select from here which you want. You want 3D designing, circuits, and code block. So I'll go with 3D designing. So I'll do one thing. I'll click on create button. And I'll click on 3D design. So yeah, now it's visible. Now you can see even. So this is a Tinkercad's designing tool. Now it will take a little bit time because it's on server, right? We are working it on virtually because it's not an offline tool. So for other offline tools, you can download some other software like 123D and other tools, right? But what I recommend the students who doesn't have laptops with them, they can create those design on their mobile phone or in tablet also. So that's what we also recommend this tool, because it's easy to use and it's accessible on laptops and desktops. Now, now here, this is a work plane, right? This is a work plane. Now, if you want to design any object, for example, I want to make a square shape. So what I'll do, I can use these tools. By using these tools, I can design any object. So what I'll do, I'll just drag and drop those images or those objects over the work plane. So I'll just click over here and I'll drag over here. Now you can see I have dropped my shape uh, over here. Now let's make it a little bit zoom and or let's understand some other features also. So here in this side, you can see on the top here we have this is a image where you can see your objects. Wait just a second. No? Hold C and uh, okay, this platform is not responding. Hold C to place shape on the workplace. Okay, now they've changed the settings. So it's instructing make it hold C to place a shape on the object. Okay, so I'll click C. I don't know why this web is not responding properly from few days. Yeah, so now it's working. So you can see, teachers, I have dropped three square shapes here. Now, if you want to do some, designing in this, now what you can do here, first you can change the snap grid. Snap grid means, can you see this small square shape uh, on this work plane, square shape axis? So these are of 1 centimeter, right? You can use this for measurement also. If you want to make zoom in, zoom out, you can use this plus and minus. By using this plus and minus option, you can zoom in and zoom out. Also, if you want to make it standard, like reset, if you want to reset, just click this one. It will give you a few fill view. And let's suppose you want to move this plate here and there, X and Y in any direction, right? You can move, just have a right click and you can move it in any direction, from top view, the right view, left view, bottom view. You can view it from anywhere. Just have a right click on the workplace and then you can move it according to you. And if you want to make it a home, like if you want to want that should comes at a home, then you click on the home button and it will give you a home, it will comes on the home view as a home view page. Right. Also, if you want to see from different angles, click here, top view, front view, right view, left view. You can see it from different angles by using these options. Right. Now let's make it a little bit zoom and then we'll understand how to use this object. Now here, I'll make it a little bit zoom. So teachers, as I was saying, this square, this one square is of 1 centimeter. Means this small blocks inside this square is of 1 mm. Right. We use this workplace for measurement also. Let's suppose I want to make a square of 3 centimeter height, 3 centimeter width, and 3 centimeter length. Right. Let's suppose this is a block. I'll delete the other blocks for your reference and just delete all these blocks. Now this is a one block and I want to make this, I want to print a square box with having 333 centimeter ka size. So what I will do, I will just first use my laptop's arrow keys button and I can move it through my arrow keys also, right? So now you can see, I have these three options. First, I'll do one thing. I'll click this square shape button. I'll click this square shape object. This option will coming in front of me. Now, if you want to make a length of 30 mm, because this measurements are in mm, I'll put 30. 30 mm means 3 centimeter, right? Now you can see the length is of 3 centimeter. I'll make it a little bit small so you can see from here also. So this is of 3 centimeter length. Now I want to change the size of height and width of this object. So what I'll do, I'll select the object again and I'll change the width to 30. Similarly for height, I will change it for 30. Now 30 means I have changed the height to 3 centimeter basically, right? 3 centimeter height, 3 centimeter width, and 3 centimeter length. So this is my object, it's of 333 centimeter. Now if I want to rotate, let me delete this other box also. Now if I want to do some other activity, other things over here. Okay, for example, if I want to uh, if I want to increase the length and width, I can do it through here also. I can drag this option like this, and I can increase the length, height, minus this side, this side by clicking these wide square small box. If I want to drag this one, I can drag this. I can want if I want to drag this side, this side. This is how also you can drag this shape. This is one of the method to design this object. Now, if I want to increase the height, so there is an option for increasing the height. Now you can see, and in parallelly here, it's showing me 57 mm. I want to drop the size, right? So this is how it's showing me. Now, this is how I can change the size also. So let's make it for let's suppose let's make a case for our hard disk, right? So what I'll do, I'll click on here. I'll do one thing. I'll make it 101 because my size of the hard disk is 100 centimeter, 100 mm. So I'll put it 102 or 105, a little bit space. Then the width. So the width is of 50 mm. So I'll do one thing. I'll rotate it 55. Means 55 mm. Okay, and we are talking in mm. Then the height. This is 2 centimeter. So I'll write it 25. A little bit space 5. So this is what I have designed. Right. This is what I have designed. Now, if I want to add a name over there, if I want to print a name, if I want to print a name also, let's suppose I want to write my name. So I have two methods. I'll go over here. There's an option for text. There's an option for text. I'll drag this one this side. Now this is the text button. Now teachers, please be careful over here how we can add a text in upon on upper side of this 3D case. So we have two options. The first is look at carefully how I am going to drop this text option over this. So before dropping, what I'll do, I'll select this text option. I'll change the text. I want to change the text from here. I want to make the name. Let's change the name of this text into NEERAJ. So this is what I have wrote over here. Now I want to change the font also. So I can choose the font. Like I want to use some other font. I can use Sans Monaco. Right? You can change now. Let's let's discuss like how do we can put this name over the 3D printer case. So here, what I'll do first, I have to understand the height of this object, height of this case. So the height of this case is 25 mm, means 25 mm or 2.5 centimeter. So I have to pull this name 25 mm अपसाइड. मुझे इस नाम को 25 mm ऊपर लेके जाना पड़ेगा, तभी मैं इसको इसकी हाइट पे लेके आ पाऊंगा. ठीक है. आई होप आपको समझ में आ रहा होगा कि मुझे इसको 25 mm ऊपर उठाना होगा, तभी मैं इसको इसके हाइट तक मैच कर पाऊंगा. आई हैव टू पुल दिस नेम of printed object. I have to pull this design 25 mm upside so I can match the level of these two objects. So what I'll do for that, I'll click over there. When I click, there is a black circle. Can you see this black triangle? Sorry, this is a black triangle. Now I'll do one thing. I'll just click on this black triangle and I'll pull it upside. Now you can see it's flying 14, 15, 16 mm, 18 mm, 19 mm, 21, 23, 24, 20, 25, 26. So I'll pick it 25. Let's see how much height is now there. Oh, it's wait. Okay, okay. I think just a second. How much? Let me reduce the size. So the height is now, oh, it's not taken by default. Let me check. Wait. Okay. Now can you see over here? When I'm dragging this object towards upside, it's showing me how much height we have pulled. Like if you can see 21 from the base, I have now we are on 25 mm, 26 mm, and 25 mm. I'll do one thing. Yeah, we are now on 25 mm ka height, right? So this is now, teachers, you can, if I move it in 3D manner, now you can see we are flying. Our object is flying with a height of 25 mm. Now what to do next? The next is, when you have selected, even you can use your laptops or computers key buttons to move this this side, right? This is how, and towards this side also. I'll move toward this side, right? So मैंने टीचर अभी क्या किया, उसको 25 mm ऊपर तक ले गया और उसको मैंने उसके ऊपर प्लेस कर दिया with the use of my keyboards. So now if you can see, both are touching each other because the height of this box and the height of this floating height of this name is now equal 25 mm, right? So this is done. So now if you want to print, if you will going to print, this will be printed like this one. Now let's, if you want to increase decrease the size of this name, you can change the name also. So this is the first thing that we understand how to print the object, right? Now if you want to print this object, what you have to do, you have to make it export. When you click on export, it will give you a STL file, and when I click on export, it will give me like you can also use like which print you want, like you want to print it in OBJ, STL. So when I click STL, it will down, I will see here, I have my model is now converted into STL and now it's downloaded, right? It's downloaded over there. Daring, no. Then you can use any Cura software and then convert it in G code, which is very easy to use, and then you can print. So this is the first thing to design the software. Now, let's suppose if you want to engrave, like if you want that your object should be looks like let's suppose you want to cut that part. So what you will do, select the name, and click on hollow. Click on hollow, right? So this will helps you to, if you want to cut any object, if you want to cut any 3D object, just click on hollow, and then what you need to do, you just have to click the black part of this name and drag inside this object, right? What I have done, I have clicked, I have select the name, then I have changed the solid part into hollow part. I have changed the specification from solid to hollow, and then what I did, oh I'm sorry, just completely got hollow. Yeah, so I just selected the name, and then I change it from solid to hollow. Hollow means now it's a blank one. And then what I did, I just selected, I just select the name and just drop inside the box. Now what I have to do, the last part is I have to merge them. I have to merge. So for merging, what I have to do, I have just to select all these two objects. I have to all select all these two objects together, and then there's an option. We call it group. Grouping means it will combine the two objects together, right? So when I combine the object together, now you can see my name in the box, my name is there, but it's grooved, it's cut from that part. And this is also you can print inside it. If I'll make it zoom, let me zoom Now you can see there's a hollow part inside the name, right? This is also you can print. And if you want to make it as a keychain, if you want to make it as a keychain, right? What you will do, just use one more block, which is a rectangle, this one, and put it over here, right? Put it over here, increase the size. Let's suppose the size of this rectangular box is 25 mm. We will do one thing. We will increase the size from 20. We'll select first and we will increase the size. Let's suppose we'll make it 30. Okay. And what I'll do, I'll put it inside the square block and I'll make it and I'll just move it inside this block. So I'll drop it inside this one like this. अब हम क्या करेंगे? We will reduce the size also a little bit. We'll reduce the size of the cylindrical box, like this one, and we'll fix over here, and we'll drop inside it. Now you can see I'll make this cylindrical box hollow, right? And then after this, what I'll do, I'll make it a complete group. Grouping means again we are combining all these features together. Now here, now you can see this is a keychain where I can see this part is now cut. I have cutted that part. So it's a simple step. When you want to cut object from the other one, just take two objects together, place it inside where you want to cut, select both the image object and then do the grouping, right? So this is how you can make a keychain. This is a simple process, right? And if you want to ungroup, just select the object together and there's an option for ungroup also. You can, if you click ungroup, these objects will come in its original position, right? So this is the first method to design any object. Now, second method is downloading the STL code, Cura code. Now, teachers, what you have to do for this, you have to use as per your 3D printer, you can download the software Cura the specification. So that I can request that you can talk to your you have to check the specification which 3D printer you are using, and then you can download that software Cura. And the Cura, what you have to do, just first you export the STL file. Our 3D printer, our 3D design is ready. Download the STL file. Once you download the STL file, just you don't have to do anything. Just you have to put this STL file that we have recently downloaded. अभी हमने जो STL file download करी है, इसको what you have to do, you have to place it in the Cura software. In the Cura software, it will helps you to convert this design into G code. So what is basically G code? G code is basically our 3D printer didn't understand about this 3D design, right? It only understands X, Y, and Z. Means how much X, a scale basically. If I say is, let's suppose this is a object, our 3D printer understand कि this is X0, X1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 100, Y0, Y1, 2, 3, 4, 500, Z0, Z1, 2, 3. So the 3D printer understands only numbers, X, Y, Z coordinates, positive X, minus X. That's it. It only understands that part. So this Cura software will convert your designs into G code, into coordinates. I'm telling you in a simple term actually. If you didn't understand these things, so I'm sharing these things in a simple way so you can also understand. So Cura is a software that converts your design into G code. So it's a kind of language. Some people don't understand Marathi. Some people don't understand Telugu or Hindi. But there is one person who translates that language from one to another, right? So it's simple that G code do. It converts the design into G code in the coordinates language. Then once you drop your file, it also shows you how much filament will require to print this object, how much time it will take. Do you want to make a solid object? Do you want to make a hollow object? आपको कितना टाइम लगेगा प्रिंट करने में? आपको जो ऑब्जेक्ट बनाना है उसमें कितना फिलामेंट यूज होगा, कितना मीटर यूज होगा, और आप 100% सॉलिड ऑब्जेक्ट बनाना चाहते हैं या हॉलो बनाना चाहते हैं, राइट? तो वो सब आपको बताएगा. Then when you do all these things, then you can download this G code and just put it in the memory card, and you can give the command of start printing. So that's it. So this is a complete process of designing and printing. But on Google, there are a lot of softwares which helps you. If you don't know which type of printer I'm using and how to make work, you can search, you can write your printer name on the Google, you will find a video on that, right? Because in India we have a lot of 3D printers are available, and we also as a new teacher, I also don't know how to deal with that. But yes, on Google there are a lot of tutorials as per your 3D printer specification, which printer you are using, and then you can operate. So this is all about 3D printing. But yes, if you want to learn more, here we have some more features. Not 3D printing, you can create some more features. Like if you want to print hardware products, if you want to print screw or any other pliers, you can print from here. Now you can see on my screen there are some gears also. You can print such gears also on 3D printer, right? Even teachers, you can download 3D images from Google. I'll just give me a moment. I'll show you how to download 3D printer objects from Google. What I'll do, I'll open my Google browser and I will type over here where 3D STL files, 3D, I'm sorry, just a second. It's ED, okay. I'll write 3D free STL files. Now you can see a lot of things are there on Google which are free of cost. You can download and you can print for your computer. Even you can gift someone, like where is it gone? Just a second. Let me share my screen again. Can you see my screen? Yeah, hi. Rohan, can you see my screen? I think it's not sharing. Let me reshare it. Okay, wait. Let me share my screen again. Just give me a moment. I think it got unshared. No issues. I'll share it again. So so there are free websites also. There are free tools from where you download free 3D STL files. Right. So I'll just click on it. And this will help you also. Like if you have a 3D printer in your lab, but you don't have such kind of designs, a high level of designs, then you can download these files from here. So there are some software like free 3D or like, right. So where you can design or you can download those files. Thingiverse is also one of the software. Uh, Let me once again, I'll share free STL files for PRINTING printing. Thingiverse. So Thingiverse is also one of the website where you can download free STL files, free designs. All right, any designer you like, you want to want a cup, a plastic cup, mug, basically. Right, that can also you can print on this. Like Thingiverse is also. Please save this uh, web page name. This will help you in future to design or to print very good 3D objects. You can print vase, flower vase also by this. Even you can print Einstein photo and a mini picture of an Einstein also from this one. So it's taking a little bit time. I don't know why. Let me check. Allow all. Now, can you see on my screen, there are mini creatures that you can download from Thingiverse, right? So I'll just drag it a little bit down. So people have done a lot of this, people have designed a lot of things, and they have uploaded those files in the this Thingiverse website. So you can see there's small keychain or small highlight cow. Then if it goes down, see. So these things you can download from Google, and even you can use this for your project. If you want to, if you are, if you, I think this one I will share this video. One of my colleague printed this object, this kind of also object. This is a mug, a design mug. You can design, you can print on your object. You can print a holder also, a filament holder. If you have a filament right in your hair, you can also design a holder. Then you can see these are some 3D printed objects, 3D designs. And it's easy to use. It's not very difficult. It's easy to use. It's a PET plastic bottle cutter. Now, how to download this one? What you need to do is, I'll give an example. So I'll put it in this way. For example, I want to print a rocket. This one. So I'll click on this, right, and double click on this one. MakerBot. It's a website. Now here an option for download all files. So once you click download all files, this 3D printed files is now on your system. Then the next is you have to use Cura software or a G slicing software, and convert it into G code format, and then your printer can print this 3D object. So this is the steps, right? I hope you understand how to download the files from the Google if you want to do any kind of 3D printing technology. So that this is all about 3D printer. So before moving to our upcoming topic, that is AI and Chat GPT, and how we can use different AI tools. Before this, teachers, I would like to request you can mark your attendance in the chat box, so that we will start with our new topic, that is AI and ChatGPT. Yeah. So I would like to request you can mark your attendance. We have shared an attendance link in the chat box, and you can and there's a chat box attendance link. I would like to request my colleague to please share the attendance link. Yeah, assessment link and other things are there. So Cura is very simple. You do not have to do anything in Cura. It is just a slicing software. You just have to upload your 3D STL file over there and just click on convert, and then it will give you a slide. It will automatically slice. You don't have to do anything, right? So you have to choose which type of Cura software you are using. There's an option to download. Remember, there's an option to download 3D objects. Now, let's move to our other topic, that is generative AI, or how to use AI, right? So before that, I will be dropping a reminder to all, so that those who have not joined. So I hope teachers, you have marked your attendance. Yeah. So please save the links that is shared by my colleague. I will be taking your doubts also if your 3D printer stuck or this kind of challenges also take. Before that, I'm going to share my screen. So before moving ahead, we'll start with there's a tool. So I think we know what is Chat GPT, right? Yes, teachers, I will be taking your doubts at the last of this. At the last at 12:50, I'll take your doubts. So before that, we will be starting with this. Please keep your doubts with yourself, and I will be taking your doubts one to one. All right. So as we all know, that Chat GPT is one of the new technology that helps you to you know it's kind of bot which or a personal assistant, right? Whatever you want to do, you can work with Chat GPT. So parallelly, first we'll start with there's a Microsoft Copilot. So we are talking about AI tools first. AI tools mean there are some advanced tools that helps you to do your tasks, your work easily, right? So teachers, हम एक ऐसे tools की हम सेकेंड हम कुछ ऐसे tools की बात करने वाले हैं जो आपको आपके लाइफ में, आपके डे टू डे लाइफ में, अगर आप कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स बना रहे हैं या किसी इसमें आप काम कर रहे हैं, तो आपको बहुत हेल्प करने वाले हैं इसके अंदर, राइट? सो सबसे पहले जस्ट अ सेकेंड, आई विल डू वन थिंग, आई विल create 2 videos for this. So let